what do I mean by making yourself available? If you have the routine of going to work and coming home and that's all you do, figure out how to change that up. Find a hobby. If you have always been interested in learning how to play tennis, join a tennis club, get a tennis trainer. By going to a tennis club, you're going to meet new people naturally, meet new people. You're going to be in a different environment. And in that environment, you might be more likely to meet new people that you never thought that you would meet before. Different ethnicities, different backgrounds, different religious backgrounds, different careers. You're putting yourself in position to meet people. So even if you don't meet a man there, what if you meet a new friend who invites you to do things with her, to her house for a different type of events, and then your likelihood of expanding your pool, it grows significantly. It's that simple. You have now expanded your opportunities that easily by meeting new people. And I want us to get in the habit of no of every time I go out, you can have a goal to say, I want to meet someone today. I want to compliment someone today. Now, this is all communication, right? It goes back to the basis of communication. It is the foundation that we are talking about today. Welcome back to the Pink Elephant, guys. I am Shanay, and if this is your first time here, thank you so much for being here. And if you are back again, thank you so much for coming back. So before we jump into it, I'm getting ready to make myself a cup of coffee. I have a new Keurig up here, which I'm so excited to have. Because I usually have to sneak around downstairs just to make my coffee so I don't wake up my kids. So I don't have to do that anymore. I'm going to show you guys my Keurig because it's so pretty and it's so cute. See it over there? It's that little lavender. So cute. I'm so excited about it. So I am going to make myself some coffee while we start to chat. So today we're going to be talking about dating in 2023 and why you should shoot your shot. Okay. Now this episode is going to be for my women who have an open mind, who have, experienced life enough to know that what you want, you have to kind of go after it. Okay. And when I talk about shooting your shot, I'm talking about ways in which that you can put yourself out there. All right. So this is going to be a fun episode. Get comfortable, get your coffee, get your tea, and then we're going to jump into it. All right. So before we start, have you guys seen Divorce in the Black? Divorce in the Black came out, I think, like maybe almost 2 weeks now, and it is a Tyler Perry production. And I did get on Facebook and I shared that I did not like the movie. All right. I am one of those people who did not enjoy the movie for several different reasons. But I did see that a lot of other people, they loved it. So you know how it is when it comes to movies and opinions and things like that. Everybody's going to get their own takeaway from it. And I am no different. Now, if you guys watch the movie, you know that Megan Good was the wife of a husband who was from a different background. Her upbringing was completely different than his upbringing. And therefore, when you collide those worlds together, there is sometimes a little bit of some friction there, because a lot of times, of course, you're not going to see eye to eye because you did not necessarily have the same values growing up, the same standards and expectations growing up. Now, the reason why I think this is a significant topic of discussion, because when it comes to dating and marriage and all those things, it all goes back to what you're willing to do and change and compromise in order to have a successful relationship. So you guys know I've been married now for 7 years. And I can honestly say that prior to getting married, I didn't necessarily have a idea of what a healthy marriage was, just because my mom was not married. She was a single mom. I knew that the divorce between her and my dad was very much not great. And I also knew the dynamics between them as co-parents was not great. For a significant amount of time, my dad was not around. So you can imagine my idea of family did not really have it wasn't an idea of two people, right? So, and then if I think back a little bit further back, I think about the fact that I didn't necessarily have a lot of role models as couples to think about as a kid. So I don't really remember being around a lot of people who were married. In fact, I remember when I met a friend in middle school and she told me that she lived with both her dad and her mom. I was actually surprised. The people that I grew up with, none of us lived with our dad. So to know that she lived in a two-parent household, it was like something that was absolutely foreign to me. And I thought that it was amazing. Like, how did that happen? And if you grew up in a single parent household, then you may have a similar experience of, not really knowing what it's like to see two parents together. So you may be able to relate to that feeling of like, wow, that's different. Okay. So, all right. Now I say that because during the movie, the divorce in the black part, first of all, it took a while for them to come back to divorce in the black. And basically they were trying to say you leave a divorce in the positive as opposed to in the negative, like Black Friday. The reason why they call that Black Friday is because a lot of companies and stores go from being in the red, meaning being under in their numbers, in their sales goals, to going into the black, which is being in a positive place in their sales goals. So think about that when you think about divorce in the black, you're thinking about leaving that divorce better, right? So for me, I wanted to see the dynamics of their relationship play out before him asking for the divorce. The movie, of course, started out, it grabbed your attention by the setting being at a funeral. Dallas, the husband, was burying his brother, and Megan Good, the wife, tried to help out by having her parents, which was a preacher and a first lady, do the eulogy and perform the funeral for his brother. I gotta say now, the dad was totally out of line to get up there on that pulpit and start talking about people's kids. So he did that. He started talking about the dynamics of the family and how they cause trouble and, all these things. And then the mom of the deceased son got up and told them to take that body out the casket. We don't need them. We don't need your casket. We don't need your clothes. Okay. Took off all the clothes that they gave her for the funeral and wanted them to take the body out. So the movie started with like a shocking situation, but for me, it was like, okay, where are we going with this? Right. So I just wanted to see, obviously it was toxic. We knew that he came from a toxic background, but for me, in order to see her go from divorce, go to divorce in the black, meaning gaining something, I wanted to see the dynamics of the relationship and what led up to him feeling as if he needed to ask for a divorce from her. It just went right into the divorce for me. And for me, when I watch movies like this, I want to be able to see myself or see a realistic situation play out so that people can actually learn from it, right? If you're going to give me a movie, give me something so I can take something away. And I just feel like that was a miss on his part to not show a woman who is trying to change a man, right? Because that was the whole idea, that she's trying to change him. What does that look like when you're trying to change a man? Like, what does that look like? What was she trying to do? What was she doing? What things was she willing to accept from him that could have been detrimental to her in order to, change him? I just wanted to see a little bit more of that, because I think when people see themselves illustrated in a way through a movie, they can kind of take a step back to see, that's me on there. I'm Megan Good. But anyway, so, and it was a lot of other things that I felt like were misses. He talked about the fact that he killed his dad during, like he had a breakdown moment. He said he killed his dad, but they never really circled back to that. I really wanted to see that play out in terms of him overcoming that trauma, or even like revealing that to his wife, Megan Good. Like, give us more about what happened. Who made you kill your dad? How was your dad? Show us all those things, even though we can, of course, assume those things. But in order to like really make that movie stick, it seemed like it needed a little bit more depth. And it just felt like it was rushed. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about Divorce in the Black. I love Tyler Perry. So let's not be confused. I love Tyler Perry. I think he is a remarkable businessman. And I cannot wait to meet him one day. I just wanted so much more from this particular movie. So we're going to shift gears a bit. All right. We're going to talk about marriage and dating and shooting your shot and what that ultimately means. So you guys know, again, I've been married for 7 years. A lot of my friends are not married, but because I'm in a position to see both sides of things, and I have my ear to the ground, my ear to the streets, okay, about dating and how hard it is, I really get a first line of sight into all the things that my friends go through when it comes to dating. So I am very curious to see how this episode is going to resonate with some of my women who are single, because I realize that I'm not, right? So I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm not single. But just so you know, before I got married, I was a single woman. Okay. You have to so I know what it's like to be single. I have not forgotten. Okay. Ironically, my daughter came in my room this morning and she asked me, like, Mommy, how do you know when someone's the one? Like, I know dating's your one, but how do you know that? And I just thought that that was a very interesting question for her to ask. So just know that I know what it's like to want to meet someone that's for you. Okay. So now let's get into it. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee, and then we're going to start diving into some of the bigger things that I want us to take away from dating and marriage and ultimately shooting your shot. All right. So when I think about relationships, and it doesn't matter if it's a romantic relationship or otherwise, I think about communication. All right. You have to be able to communicate what you want, what you think, what you desire with a mate. Bottom line. And honestly, for every single thing that I'm going to talk about today, you have to be willing to learn how to communicate effectively. And I know that topic comes up a lot. Everybody always talks about communicate. Communicate is so important. But I'm going to show you why I think it's important to be able to kind of come down off your ego so that you can really have successful relationships, both in a marriage and in dating. So for my women who would like to date and would like to get married, this is something that I need you to wrap your mind around prior to talking to someone. So a lot of times I hear that it's hard to start conversation. You don't know what to say. And for that reason, you don't feel like you meet anybody because you just kind of nobody ever talks to me. I don't really meet anybody. I see people, but it never goes anywhere. So that's why I started thinking about shooting your shot, right? I started thinking about the idea of shooting your shot as a woman, because a lot of times we're sitting and we're waiting for something to happen, but why leave everything to chance? Why not create opportunities so that you can meet people and have more in-depth and more valuable conversations with them? What do I mean by that? That means that, first of all, you can't stay in your house under your blanket on the couch watching Netflix all day. You got to go out. You have to be in a space to meet people, right? So if you have been a person that all you do is go to work, you come home, you might go grab some food with your friends, you have to change something up in order to put yourself in a position to be available. All right. Now, I'm not saying you have to go chase down a man. I want everybody to really listen clearly. Do not listen from a place of judgment. Listen from a place of love and wanting to be better. Let's start there. Make up your mind. You want to hear this. You want this information. So what do I mean by making yourself available? If you have the routine of going to work and coming home and that's all you do, figure out how to change that up. Find a hobby. If you have always been interested in learning how to play tennis, join a tennis club, get a tennis trainer. By going to a tennis club, you're going to meet new people, naturally meet new people. You're going to be in a different environment. And in that environment, you might be more likely to meet new people that you never thought that you would meet before. Different ethnicities, different backgrounds, different religious backgrounds, different careers. You're putting yourself in position to meet people. So even if you don't meet a man there, what if you meet a new friend who invites you to do things with her, to her house for a different type of events, and then your likelihood of expanding your pool, it grows significantly. It's that simple. You have now expanded your opportunities that easily by meeting new people. And I want us to get in the habit of every time I go out, you can have a goal to say, I want to meet someone today. I want to compliment someone today. Now, this is all communication, right? It goes back to the basis of communication. It is the foundation that we are talking about today. If you're not willing to open yourself up and put yourself out there through communication and through saying hi, hello, ooh, I love your dress, oh, I love your hair, where do you get your hair done, I like your nails, where are you from, then you're not willing to really go to a next level and evolve as a woman, as a person, right? And that's the place that we need to be in when we're trying to do something different. When we're trying to do something different, we need to be willing to do something different. You want something different, but you're not willing to do anything new. You want to do the same stuff that does not work for you. So sis, bruh, I don't know, whoever, bro, do something different. Okay. Try to say hi to someone. It's not that hard. So this goes right into the idea of shooting your shot. So I'm going to illustrate this out for y'all. I'm going to illustrate this out. So say you join the tennis club and you've been going there for now a couple of weeks. Every time you go, it's another guy who's also, he works there. Let's say he works at the tennis club. He manages it. Okay. And every time you go, y'all end up talking for a little bit. You know, you chilling, you kind of make conversation here and there. And you find yourself like, wow, he's really cool. And you notice he's not married. And you're obviously you're not, and you're single. And so you have really started to kind of like feel him a little bit. Like, I kind of like him. He's cute. He might be a little bit different than what I go after normally, but we have really good conversation when we do talk, and he's always nice. I'm always nice. What? Okay. So now I'm not saying, y'all, that he should be the one. If he's also noticing y'all been talking, he should be the one. He could, and he should, right? But let's just say he doesn't know what you're giving off. Like, he just doesn't quite know if it's like, I like him romantic, or, oh, he's so cool, I'm putting him in the friend zone. It's okay to let that person know through subtle ways that you are interested in them. All right. Now, a lot of y'all probably thinking, I do that. I do that. And I don't want to have to be like, oh, you cute. Okay, sis, that's, you don't, if you think that you do that, listen to the scenario of what I want you to do. All right. So let's say his name is Aaron. So Aaron is there all the time. All right. And y'all talk every single time you come. Matter of fact, you end up hanging around. You sit at the wine bar and you end up getting a glass of wine, and he kind of come through and he might sit and talk to you for a little bit. So the next time he's there, why not say to Aaron, like, Aaron, what do you do outside of the club? Like, do you ever, go out for fun? Are you dating? Just ask the question casually, right? And Aaron might say, I don't really do much. I don't really do. I'm always here when I'm not here. Or when I'm not working, I still come up here, and, I've been wanting to get out more. He could say that. And you could say, Aaron, same. I work, and then I come home. I got my little fur baby at home, and that's about it. But I want to do more. So since you want to do more and I want to do more, let's go out. Like, I really enjoy talking to you up here. So I feel like we would have we would have fun together. We should definitely hang out. What do you think about that? And then Aaron could be like, that would be dope. That'd be really cool. Let's do it. So, like, hey, let's exchange numbers. That way you can reach out to me and we don't have to just see each other up here. And you give your number to Aaron. Aaron is probably mind blown. He been wanting to know if you was feeling him for the last 3 weeks, but he wants to be professional. And he don't want to, make you feel uncomfortable. So because he respects you and he wants to make sure you feel comfortable, he didn't want to cross the line, because guess what? You're a paying member there and he works there. And that's also a side note. It might not be a good idea to date somebody if you really love that tennis club and you don't want to, risk having to go to a different one if something doesn't work right. Then maybe you wouldn't choose to date Aaron, which is fine. That's a choice of your own, right? But if you're willing to, then, why not let Aaron know it's okay to approach me? It's okay. I'm interested, right? And this is all done through communicating. Had you not said to Aaron, like, hey, I want to go out too. I want to date. I just never get a chance to. You seem really cool. Like, let's hang out if you want to. Like, do you want to hang out? And then that lets him know, like, he can. Why would you wait to see if he's going to do it? And if he never does, an opportunity is missed. You're not going to, like, when I tell you guys, you're not losing anything by saying those words. Let's say the opposite happens. Let's say Aaron he's not interested. It doesn't have to be an awkward situation. You're grown, sis. You grown. Let me empower you right now to let you know you are not that easily broken. Your ego, your pride, your confidence is still going to be intact. Give yourself some more points than that. Give yourself a little bit more than that, because you can do, like, you're not fragile. You're not a fragile woman. You can handle having these conversations, and you can handle putting yourself out there confidently, because you still have respect at the end of the day. You're not saying, come sleep with me. You're not taking your bra off and like shaking your boobs in a space. You're not doing any of those things. You're merely putting yourself in position to be available if someone else is interested. So let's give another scenario where Aaron is like, not interested, right? Aaron, what do you do? Like, do you ever do anything outside of the club for fun? Like, just to have a good time. And Aaron's like, no, I'm always here. I'm always working. I kind of just be here. Even if I'm not working, I'll come up and I'll just hang out here. I don't really do much. And then you say to Aaron, like, me either. I go to work and then I come home to my fur baby, and then that's about it. I come up here to play tennis twice a week, but I want to do more. Do you want to hang out? Like, would you be interested in hanging out, or are you interested in dating? Definitely feel like we have good conversation up here. It would be nice to kind of see each other outside the club. He might say, like, yeah, I'm trying not to date right now. I'm just trying to stay focused. I'm trying to build my business, and it's just been a lot. I'm trying not to be distracted, but it would be cool, like maybe sometimes, but right now I'm just busy. And then it's okay. Respect his boundaries. And Aaron could very well not be interested in you. Is the world going to end? No, the world is not going to end. Y'all can still be friends. Aaron could possibly have a friend that's the one for you. Like, so we have to look at things as it's still a win-win situation, because you're still meeting someone and building a relationship, be it friendship or otherwise, with someone. And it doesn't have to be awkward. After him saying that, be like, you know what? I totally understand that. I get it. I was in that same space a couple years ago. I'm just now starting to get out of that space. Take your time getting out there. But let me know if you have, any functions, if you have any cookouts or friends over. I would love to meet new people. So it's cool. It's cool. And you might be like, let me get you a little drink. We're going to toast to getting ourselves together this year and having a good time this year, whatever it looks like for you, period. And I know that that's me coming up with this scenario right now in my mind, and it's not a real scenario, but it is a real scenario. A lot of us be around the guy that we're attracted to a lot of times, and we don't say anything because we're waiting for them to say something. How many times have a friend told you, like, he at the party, he saw me, we both spoke, and we kind of flirted for a little bit, but nothing. It's like nothing. So, like, why are you waiting to see what's going to happen? Take fate into your own hands by at least putting yourself out there to be available, right? And if it doesn't go anywhere from there, it wasn't meant to be. Everything doesn't have to be like this big drama scene. It could be as simple as a no and a yes. It worked out and it didn't work out. A process of elimination. You don't have to sleep with them or anything. You don't lose anything. So when I think of shooting your shot, for me, it's simply that. It's making yourself available for the opportunity to be pursued. All right, let me say that again. Shooting your shot is making yourself available to be pursued by a man. Okay? If you are like this, don't talk to me, like face your arms crossed, you on your phone, like at the party, don't nobody want to talk to you. And the people who do come up to you is probably going to be the guy that you are least interested in, because those ones are typically the most confident ones because they've had practice. Okay. So just think about that when you think about like what you want and what results do you want? What are you looking for? Does that match what you're doing? And we can think about that for a lot of things in life. Now, I'm going to shift it a little bit because in marriage, I shoot my shot all the time. All right. So it's no different. Going back to being willing to put yourself out there, it's across the board. It's not going to end in marriage. It's going to continue on and on and on. And it's something that we all need to be comfortable with. I think what it boils down to is having enough confidence, but not being too prideful to put yourself out there and be vulnerable, right? So let me give you a scenario in marriage. Even though I'm married and I've been married for 7 years, a lot of times my husband, he's a football coach. So football season is like, y'all, jam packed. He's gone from the time he leaves in the morning. He might get home around 9 o'clock sometimes, maybe even close to 10, depending on if it's game night. So a lot of times we are passing by each other and we only get like a little bit of time in the evening after the kids go to bed to like really have a chance to talk. So because of that, I can sometimes feel like, man, we're kind of like, we're not pacing right with each other. Like we're not, our footing is off because things have kind of gotten busy. Like I feel like I want attention, right? I want attention from my husband. I feel like I'm not getting enough attention. And so now I have to be comfortable enough to voice that to him, communicate that to him, and shoot my shots in a way that puts down my pride and my ego aside. Because though I think he should be the one that is pursuing me and he's not giving me enough attention, as a woman and as a wife, as a partner, you have to be willing to pick up the slack, right? So what does that look like? Dang, he been busy lately. I'm gonna light some candles. I'm gonna get our shower going. And y'all, I love getting the little shower melts that you can get off Amazon. They have lavender scent, eucalyptus, and it creates a spa-esque type of vibe. And it's something easy to do. You can buy them off Amazon. You just put them you drop them in the shower on the shower floor, and the melt, it just gives this aroma, right? And you light some candles, and you create that moment that you want for your husband, because you realize that that's something that you need, but waiting on him to create it for you is something that's really, really dangerous, because the moment that you continue to wait, you get mad, you frustrated, you just sitting around mad at him because he's not giving you this attention, and you feel like y'all are disconnected, and you waiting for him to notice it, but he's busy. He's busy. He's got a lot on his plate. Football season. He's stressed out about the players not showing up. The kids' grades. Kids are hungry. Their parents are not there. It's a lot of layers that you know your husband might be going through. So you have to be willing to put your ego aside to create the moment, because it does not just benefit him. And that's the thing. Let's talk about that for a second. A lot of times when women hold out on doing things, be it sex or be it connection or intimacy, we think like, oh, I'm not about to give him none because, he don't deserve it. But it's a disservice to both of y'all. It's a disservice to you, and it's a disservice to him, because you are growing further and further apart. And before you know it, you looking around at him, and the moment he breathes too hard, you don't want him on earth. Okay. You don't even want to see him. So it's important to catch that right away and be able to put yourself out there, shoot your shot with your husband, and be vulnerable enough to say, hey, I know you've been busy. I know that, I'm busy too, the kids, but I feel like we're a little off. Let's have a shower together and let's talk, and then in that moment of like shooting your shot, putting yourself out there, you think your husband gonna be like, no, I don't want no intimacy. No, don't rub my shoulders. No, I don't want no shower with you. No, I don't want to rub you down. He's going to be excited, because one thing I know about a man, no matter how tired they are, when it comes to that, they'll gain some strength. They'll initiate Hulk power. Okay. So again, like when it comes to shooting your shot, y'all, I don't want you to think that shooting your shot is a takeaway from yourself. You're giving yourself something, creating this environment and space of candles and a shower, and maybe have his food, and I wait for him to get home and we eat together, or whatever you decide to do. Maybe you plan like a little mini vacation or something. That is also making yourself available to be pursued by your husband. It's also an opportunity for you guys to regain your footing. Everybody's relationship requires work. If you are not willing to do something different that might be a little uncomfortable. Now, I'm not saying put yourself in danger, and I'm not saying, do something that's just totally against your ethics, but you have to be willing to put yourself out there and be willing to put your ego aside in order to gain something that is going to last forever. And I want to go ahead and let you guys know that in order to have a successful marriage, these are things that you're going to work on for the rest of your life. So go ahead and get comfortable with being able to put yourself in a situation that requires vulnerability. If you're not even able to be vulnerable enough to make conversation with someone that you don't know, let's say you're at a bar and you're sitting there, you're eating your dinner because you decided to go get dinner at a bar and eat, you know, by yourself, and you see a guy that's maybe 2 seats down from you and he's chilling out by himself, and y'all all are talking to the bartender, y'all making conversation, like, why not be all in, you know, like have conversation. And even though it might be awkward for you, it's okay to say, hey, how are you doing? Like, it's okay. So what I want you guys to do, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you some homework. So for my dating girls, for my girls that are dating, I want you to make it a goal to start speaking to people. If you are not a person that speaks to people right now, so what I mean by speaking to people, hey, how are you? Like, just, it could be a woman, it could be a man. Just practice speaking to people. Practice making, practice making yourself visible. What do I mean by visibility? Because I'm not talking about your clothes. I'm not talking about that today. We can go into fashion another day, but today I'm talking about, don't be the person that walks into a room and goes into the corner. Instead, be the person who, I walk into a room and I make it a point to speak to everybody. You know, hey y'all, how y'all doing? And and if it's a guy that you see, hey, how are you? I'm Shanay. What's your name? Oh, okay. How you know so and so? Okay, I went to A&T. Like, come on. Like, come on, girls. Come on, ladies. Let's do it. Like, so I want for your homework to start speaking to people. That is an easy thing to do. It might be uncomfortable, but it's very easy to open your mouth and say, hey, how are you doing? All right. So let's start there. Once you get to the point where you're able to do that comfortably, you'll find that making conversation, no matter if it's with a man or a woman, is the same. It, no matter, like, you're not, everybody isn't going to be your husband. You're just meeting people. And when you meet people, you're meeting people with the idea that this person could be a good person that fits into my life, in my circle. Even if it's not my partner or my husband, he could be a friend that introduces me to someone else, and my circle grows. It expands. Now, if you don't want your circle to grow, don't worry about doing this. But if you're looking for growth in your relationships with people, then this is a really great thing to do, and an easy thing to start to do. So like I said, once you become familiar with speaking to people, you'll find that it just happens naturally. When you walk into the room, the energy that you draw into yourself will be so contagious that people will want to know who you are. And that's the goal, right? To have good energy that just moves the room. You don't want to be that person that walks in the room and don't nobody notice it. You also don't want to be the person that walks into the room and you suck the energy out of the room. You want to bring it with you. Like, the energy is noticeably different because you're there, and it's better. Like, when you get there, people are happy to see you. All right. So that's what I want you to do. That's the simple thing to do. Then after you feel comfortable enough, I want you to do the things that I said today. Start conversation and ask, like, what do you do for fun? Would you want to hang out outside of the club, or would you want to hang out outside? You know, I see you here at the bar all the time. Like, let's get dinner together. What days you coming? Are you coming back this week? Let's meet up for dinner if you're interested. I'm not trying to cross the line, but are you interested in having dinner together? Those are the things that I want you to work your way up to, and then come back here and let me know if you died just because you did that. And it didn't go anywhere. Okay. All right. And then for my married women, I'm gonna have another conversation, because I want you guys to know, like, because everybody always compliments me on my marriage, right? But with every marriage, there are ebbs and there are flows. There are highs, there are lows. There is a lot of work to do sometimes, and then sometimes it's like you're coasting and you're doing good. But it's all about being all in, right? And it's been times where it's like, I ain't all in. I need to get myself together. He ain't all in. He got to pull himself together. So I definitely would love to talk more about that. And if you are interested in hearing more about, like, marriage and what that's like, and, even me going from being a single parent and a single woman to meeting someone and having to merge our lives together with a daughter, let me know some topics that you're interested in talking about and hearing about. And then I'll definitely look at those topics and see if that's something that's doable. But I would love to keep the conversation going. For all my married women, let me know in the comments how you feel about doing those things for your husband. Are you willing to create those experiences for your husband? Do you plan dates for your husband? And if you do, or if you don't, tell me why and how that works out for you. But if you have not seen Divorce in the Black, go on Amazon Prime, check that out. Let me know what you think as well. If you are not following me, I need you guys to follow me. This year is my year. And I want you to be along for the ride. I want you to carry me through to the finish line. I'm right there with you. And my commitment is to be here and to show up. So if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you give me a thumbs up, letting the algorithm know like the girl is hot. Okay. Share the video with your friends. Talk about this in your group chat. Talk about it with me. If you are interested in like getting in a chat with me after watching my videos, let's do it. And keep the conversation going full time. Also, if you are a Facebook user and you would like to join my Facebook group, it's the Pink Elephant in the Room Facebook group. I am about to start back getting in there. I know previously I don't have a lot of participation, but if you are starting to watch my podcast episodes on a consistent basis, then you're following my journey from corporate world into full-time podcaster, into mommy mode, into dating, into all the things. And y'all, I have a surprise coming up next week. I can't wait to share it with you guys. So if you're doing that, then you might as well jump into that group and let's stay connected. So follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at the Pink Elephant _ by Shanay. You can find me on Facebook, Shanay Pringle. This is my year. This is your year. But until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Bye, y'all.